records and mementos from Nebraska and 4 years at Algonquin are lost as someone threw them out. With the next year's class, I began to make films with the class, and this was a group I kept 2 years. This is, what you see here, is the class of 64, 65. Coming up, the class of 65, 66, who made the first film, Apollo to the Moon. This is Mr. Hassel, Kent Hassel, and he is playing the part of Lyndon Baines Johnson, announcing in the White House the trip to the moon by astronauts, which will take place, as we predict in this film, in September of 1969. Then it will be joined here shortly by Smiley, in other words, Ladybird Johnson. And Ladybird will be wanting to clean up the moon. Feels that this is her main duty. As the first and worst lady. But here we see Lyndon Baines, and I guess this is slow motion. And now we revert to regular motion. Lyndon Baines, Lady Bird, dedicating the trip to the moon. The astronauts, that you will see shortly, will include Richard Grant, Mike T, and this announcer, I believe, was named Patty Wright, with the clipboard. And here is Richard Grant with a very realistic looking capsule behind him. Instrument board. I guess it's supposed to be a mock-up of the board, and here's Mike Keys and Joe Orris in their regular outfit. 3 astronauts, and perhaps an announcer and 2 astronauts, ready to head for the moon. It can be a passport. Here we see the dials set up. And it goes on to further show off this marvelous NASA. Now this is made in 1965, predicting that in 1969 September a moon landing would be made, missing by very few months, the actual moon landing. And here we see this magnificently realistic takeoff of the rocket for the moon, with the background scenery is about as realistic as one could get. And the blast off. The very clear blue sky. Florida looking quite clear that day, except for a few lines in the sky. Fly me to the moon and let me sing among the stars. Let me see what spring is like, with Dave Hetzler now being interviewed. Dave, would you like to show the model? Yes, indeed, I'll show a model, and here it is, taking off from the Earth. It's rather vivid redoing of the takeoff, going into orbit. Then was it the LEM will be landing on the moon, but here we see the 3 astronauts and going to go down and sit down on the moon. return journey if we could just get this to go through. Yes, so we almost had a technical problem there, but now the module has landed and is seated on the moon. It's going to be a room, and we see the background stars in the 14-day day of the moon. Right down in the crater there. This film made in 1965, which shows the blast off from the moon. They're a little strung out there. A little yaw or one of those effects. Fly me from the moon and let me be among the stars. Let me see what spring is like in Mr. Whitham's room. In other words, here we go. And back on Earth, it's one of those modernistic TV sets there. Lyndon Baines. Telling Ladybird about it. Original tape for this may be around somewhere, but difficult enough getting all this on the tape. And here go the director, Steve Goldman. The Chesler, Mr. Chesler, Kathy Gibson, Johnny Sklan, Karen Otts, John Graves, Mike Skelly, Stillwell, Kent Hafner, Mike Keyes, Patty Wright, Richard Grant, Joe Orris, Meredith Spencer, and David Hetzler. And communications were Rick Skyer and Pam Dyer, Miss Silly there, Walter Higgs, Gillette, Brinkley, Brulette, and one of the Reddingtons, Mary Reddington, I believe. Jane Mayer, Beth Jones, oh yes, Beth, and there we go with Johnson, Peggy Phillips, and Mr. last one. Mr. Knoll, the well-known Mr. Knoll, was an advisor along with Mr. Whitham. And this was Apollo to the Moon, made 4 years before the actual shot, 1965, and thus goes the class of